Welcome to Evolve, Mastery for Leading a New World, with CEO and award-winning author Yvette Bethel. This podcast is dedicated to supporting leaders with a variety of solutions to build trust, inspire authentic change, and improve morale within your organization. Learn how to grow your people, build your culture, and transform your results.
Welcome to the Evolve Podcast. I am Yvette Bethel, and I want to thank you for joining me. We tend to think about relationships within an organization in terms of interpersonal connections, but relationships exist within other contexts. Relationships can exist between one part of a process and another. They can exist between the core values and actual values exhibited by employees. They can even exist between strategy and execution, or not. Healthy relationships between co-workers are made possible when leaders not only demonstrate personal self-mastery, but also when they hold others accountable to self-regulation. Emotionally incompetent leaders are unable to read the signals accurately because of their egos and other influences that act as blinders. For example, there are managers and executives who believe morale is at an acceptable level because their direct reports tell them that they are happy. In cultures characterized by fear, when asked, employees will always tell the person they're afraid of that they are happy. They know that leaders with sizable egos need constant stroking, so they shift into survival mode and respond in a way that will minimize the likelihood of a negative consequence. Fearful employees survive by creating the appearance of harmony, hiding behind their thoughts and feelings. On the surface, everything seems to be going well because there's an immense effort behind maintaining this facade. When there's false harmony, employees don't feel safe to speak their truth because of unpleasant past experiences, suspicion, or even low trust. When the intentions of decision makers are legitimate and trust is impaired, positive actions by decision makers can be interpreted through filters of negative bias and fear. There are consequences to this type of disconnection because when employees are unwilling to speak up, decision makers receive incorrect or insufficient information, and they build their plans on a weak system of communication and information, one that hides important details or distorts them. Interpersonal relationships traverse the boundaries of the internal organization. Regulators, customers, professional organizations, and vendors are all examples of external stakeholders who connect with staff, creating an elaborate network of relationships that, in the best case scenario, are mutually enabling. When persons within an organization are disconnected from each other, external stakeholders can perceive this easily. They perceive the subtle and the obvious displays of power and ineffective communication. They either work with it by manipulating the vulnerable relationships, they work around it in avoidance mode, or they work against it just to get their work done. The quality of communication not only determines the quality of relationships and morale, the reverse is also true. Morale can drive the quality of communication. If leaders don't take deliberate action to disrupt the downward spiral of morale, the tone of communication will appear to be directive or even condescending. Healthy relationships are characterized by exchanges that are emotionally competent. This competence is necessary to maintain effective, caring communication and to manage conflict effectively. Leaders who are committed to self-mastery understand the consequences of their actions. They know the importance of inclusion, so they use inclusive language and demonstrate diversity-sensitive behaviors. They are optimistic, and most importantly, they can connect authentically. Understanding interpersonal dynamics at the individual level provides executives with the baseline skills they need to detect and comprehend more complex organizational dynamics. Perceiving the quality and the nature of relationships is a necessary skill because confidentiality can be compromised or other risks heightened because of unknown relationship dynamics. The relationship network is an organic framework that is constantly evolving because new relationships are being made, some are changing, and others are being terminated. Developing a relationship quotient which enables persons to understand the dynamics of interpersonal connections is the second step toward transforming and transmuting culture. Personal evolution is the first step after the vision is established. Another important consideration when attempting to improve relationships is that teams need to have a unifying factor. They need a single goal that connects everyone on the team and within the network of relationships. The connection to the goal has to be a heart connection, one where employees don't just repeat the goal as part of an obligatory recitation process. They actually believe in the goal because it reflects their values and motivates them in one way or another. So as leaders evolve and achieve self-mastery, they can become capable of developing relationships that will enable both their work and the work of their respective teams. Trust-based networks and relationships can drive performance to higher levels and support the creativity and problem-solving prowess of the team, unless trust does not extend beyond the boundaries of the department. This happens when teams become a silo, a separated entity with no intention of collaborating because competition is the name of the game. Building beneficial relationships takes will, skill, and discipline. Diversity introduces opportunities for misunderstanding, but if diversity can be harnessed with the intention of building relationships, there are greater opportunities for growth, creativity, and trust.
Thanks for listening to Evolve, Mastery for Leading a New World. Visit YvetteBethel.com to learn more about Yvette's leadership programs and to download her free gift, Success Tips for Igniting Your Career.